So welcome to this guide for Miao, Ying and the Northern Provinces. In this video I'm going to be going through, in order, early game armies, army compositions in general, and then I'll be covering the Wujing compass, I'll be covering caravans, which ones I like to prioritize. I'll also be going briefly through talents, as well as what I build and harmony coupled with that, and then at the end of the video I'll just do a quick couple of turns just to give you an idea of how to start. General diplomatic information as well. So this guide is attached to or made with help from a playthrough I did. So if you really want to check out the nitty-gritty of it, like battles and all that kind of stuff, and just a sort of a turn-by-turn playthrough, you can check them out. I'll just put the playlist or some sort of link at the end of the video for that. Alright, so starting off with army compositions. So for the early game, I just recommend peasants. They're very cheap, they're quite effective, especially against the initial enemies that you'll face in the Cathayan Rebels and Clan. That kind of army, since you'll be starting with Miao Ying, you're going to have some of her units. They're not really here at the moment, but you'll have the balloon with the artillery, you'll have some Jade Warriors, you'll have Celestial Archers, and it's a very strong army. After that, though, it's just peasant long spearmen, and peasant archers. As you get later on into the campaign, you build up more of an economy. I tend to just add what I can, focusing on artillery. So here is a good example: artillery, peasant archers, and peasant spearmen, and then crane gunners. And then after that, I like to transition to the Jade Warrior crossbowmen. I don't tend to go with Jade Warriors. I think the peasant long spearmen fulfill that role, especially at this point in the campaign. And then when you get to the late stages of the campaign, I tend to just fill it with whatever. But the most important part is the early game. Just spam your peasant units, and you can make a lot of armies, just based on all the other economic and mechanical bonuses that Cathay get in their harmony and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to go through that now, just to sort of give you a bit of context on why you really want to just go with peasant archers. So I'll start with the Wujing compass. I always go with the Celestial Lake. I think it's the best. You get control. I play on legendary, so it's -8 control, so that's just really good. It mitigates it. It'll also mitigate it on very hard, on hard, and I think it's just very useful. Income from all buildings. Income's always valuable. And then chance of winds of magic increasing. Basically means you will always have magic. And I think this is important because I always go with the dragon-blooded lords in my armies. Every single time they're just the best in my opinion. They've got magic, they're flying, just excellent units, and they will always have high reserves, 80, 90, 100, and that's very, very important when choosing the compass to me. The other ones aren't as good. I think the second best one would probably be this one, the Great Bastion. Means you're not getting attacked from the north as much. You can recruit a bit better in the early game, and the Ancestral Warriors is really, really strong. But the others, a little bit lackluster. The caravans are good, but not really a huge fan of buffing them. Don't really think that's that valuable. And then corruption's, it's something in Warhammer 3, but it's just not that important. And the attrition, I'm not that bothered with. It's on legendary, so they don't take that much. I think maybe on lower difficulties it might be better. And then the army ability is always good, but I think the Ancestral Warrior one's better. But always recommend Celestial. Like, I just think that I just have that activated there the whole campaign. And then caravans. So In the early game, my recommendation for caravans would just be Altdorf, Drakenhof, Myrmidons, and Marienburg. Drakenhof is for the northern provinces, the first one I go for, because it gives regeneration for your legendary lord, which is very powerful. And then I like Altdorf because you get the 40% increase to fire damage, which plays off the Yang dragon-blooded lords very, very well. It gives them really nice bonuses, and since by turn 30, 40 I do have multiple lords, it is just very powerful. You can swap the gear between your lords if you really want to be very careful. And then Marienburg and the Myrmidons, you get ancillaries. One gives you increase in trade, which isn't that good for the first 20-30 turns because you don't have that many people you're trading with. But for me, by turn 50-60, it's worth getting now. And then Marienburg gives the trade, and then Myrmidons plus 5% all income sources, which is just really, really nice bonus. So I would say Drakenhof's first for me, then Altdorf, then Myrmidons, and then Marienburg. And they're just, and that's always worked for me, and I think that's really good. And then you just want to get the other caravans. Not really an important order. It's just caravans are just a really nice mechanic. They give a really nice amount of gold. They give you fights where you can make gold. The fights are generally not too difficult. And it's just a really nice bonus. So for talents, I always go Rite of Yang and Rite of Yin, Grace of the Yin, and that's minus 10% for Yin and Yang units. And then I just head across to really get to these blessings, which, I mean, plus 10 hero and lord recruit rank it's just incredible. Most races don't have those kind of talents. It's insane. So I just want to head across to these really overpowered ones. But there's good talents across the board. I mean, it's one of the better tech trees out there. And now I'm just going to talk about build order. So what I like to do for build order, actually no, I'm not going to talk about build order, I'm going to talk about harmony. So harmony is one of the most consequential abilities for Cathay. I don't think it's that well done at this point, but basically, if you're in harmony, you're getting an upkeep reduction across the province. You're getting bonuses to income bonuses plus 15% to the province, and you can move a lot further within your own territory if it's all at harmony. For the Yin dominance within a province, you get plus 10 growth, construction, and control. The growth is pretty poor. It's almost a non-event. The control is something, but also a non-event. Construction cost, really not that good. So I would never do Yin. And then Yang, a little bit better. You've got the research rate. I'm hoping that's 5%. So maybe you could do something if you've got a lot of provinces to stack up research rate. But I'm going to, be very firm in that harmony is the best option for me. I always choose harmony. I only have these as yin and yang, just to give an example. The recruit rank is 1. Local, it's just not very good. The local recruitment capacity is okay in the early game. If you really wanted to, you could use a yang dominance to recruit armies a little bit faster. But for the most part, I have everything at harmony. And that allows you to make huge amounts of armies in the early game. Coupled with your compass, coupled with the bonus you get to income from more buildings, it's just too powerful, and you can move quite a bit further, so you can go and defend places quicker. It's one of the biggest buffs for Cathay. Now, having spoken about harmony, you do want to be, since I am saying keep all your provinces at harmony, then you do need to, this is sort of ties into how you build up your settlements. So I always stay at harmony. I always prioritize getting any special buildings, pottery production, and then being at harmony. So 1 white and 1 black. I like to get growth. Growth isn't that fast for Cathay compared to other factions, but it's okay. But I always tend to go growth and then a spice market for the trade. You'll get a lot of people wanting to trade with you since you are an autotide faction. I tend to prioritize the special buildings over extra Cathayan buildings, but also whilst trying to keep harmony. And then when you get to tier 4, I like to make sure that I have sort of military buildings for stuff I want. So I really want the fire rain rocket batteries. I really want the crane gunners. I do like to make a barracks, so I have the Jade warrior crossbows. Since as I mentioned before, I think they're a very good unit, and that you do need to upgrade your peasant archers to the Jade Warriors just because of the armor piercing damage increase. And when you're versing Nakai, or when I versed Nakai, I needed 3 of these armies to stand a chance against them because the peasant archers just do not do any damage. So you do want to upgrade to the Jade crossbows when you can, when you lose an army. If you don't lose armies, then you're not going to upgrade that much, but as you can see, I have introduced some better units into my armies. But outside of that, for build order, that's kind of just what you want to focus on, making sure you're at harmony so you're getting the 15% bonus, and then upkeep reduction for any units. I just don't think that the yin and yang dominance is good enough, but that's kind of what you want to think about. Alright, now I'm going to go to a different campaign, and I'm going to give you a quick introduction on how to play and how to start off your campaign and what to be thinking about. Alrighty. Alright, so this is the first couple of turns that I just wanted to go through to help you sort of get into into your new campaign. So I wouldn't auto-resolve any of this. You have your Sky Junk, you have your Celestial Dragon crossbows, so you can really win these battles without taking many casualties, which will help in the future. But I'm just going to quickly do this so it doesn't take too long. So we're just going up. No, don't auto-resolve this either. I've taken a whole casualty, which is kind of a waste.
It has the honor of joining.
And then once you've taken the second settlement, you want to make a Yang Lord. I like this talent. And then once you've done that, you can make some archers because you get a 50% upkeep reduction from your lord. And then diplomacy first. Got Celestial Loyalists, that's an extra 59 gold. You really want to be getting as many treaties as you can with the Confederation, the other Cathayan factions for Confederation, but I don't think you can get any more than that. And then I'm going to do the compass, so as I said before in the video, Celestial Lake. And then talents go for archers. I make the most archers. If you've got another army composition, you can just go with that. If it's infantry based, you can either go with the melee or the ranged, but I go ranged.
Schematics from Nangao.
And then caravans, let's get a caravan. I don't know which caravan you'll have. It's pretty random. I think this one's good. That one's also very good. But I think against ogres, this is just better. And we're going to go to Castle Drakenhof, as I said. So the initial start, you generally don't have to worry too much about money, so you can crank it up if you want. It should get through. You do get ambushed, but it's generally very small armies in the early game. So we've done diplomacy, talents, and then I think that's just, and then we can get these. Tend to go with the experience straight away, as well as the mobility. I don't think you need mobility, but it's fine. Make sure you get the commandment. Build your building, so growth, trade. Delete this because I just don't think it's worth spending the extra at this point in time. And as I said, Jade Warriors I don't think fulfill that important a role compared to Peasant Archers. Definitely the Jade Crossbowmen are good though. If you're not confident with your armies, definitely go for the Crossbowmen because they are a massive upgrade, but they aren't necessary just for the start. But as you can see, the Cathayan faction moved to here, and they always do that. So what I'm going to do, move my Legendary Lord to here,
The Emperor's chosen
and then move your other army on the border.
Sent by our ancestors.
Ambush stance,
Shaper of the eight winds.
build some more archers. And so the idea is that they may come out and attack you. A lot of the time they do, sometimes they don't. It's a bit random, but regardless, you can pretty easily go over and take out this army. Whereas if you go down here, take this and then go up here, they may retreat to Pomei, and then you've got a full stack to deal with in a major settlement, which is a lot more difficult. And for this turn, you just want to get any treaty you can. You want to confederate these guys first so you can get the walls and sort of start making some defensive armies and just stopping village who will inevitably attack you. And then if you get this settlement, I like to trade it to these guys, and that sort of gets me a non-aggression pact and sort of guarantees that they won't declare war on you. But they aren't the most aggressive towards you compared to village. So I will end turn there. Just make sure you don't have any more things you can do here. You don't want to get a peace treaty with them, may as well just get the land. Alright, so I got the ambush. Now you're not going to have as many casualties. You know, you're going to have more units. You're going to have better units. But I'm just going to auto reserve this. But you'll take less casualties again if you don't, just because of how strong Miao Ying is and her starting army is. I would fight this battle. I'm not going to because I don't really have the time. This relationship bonus isn't really worth it. They'll probably die out. It's really only Croesus that you want to do get the diplomatic bonus with.
the Storm Dragon.
But that would net you a nice amount of gold.
As hot as Nangao's forges. Yes.
So now I can head across.
This goes against Gairan. I decree death.
Lord of Ying and Yang.
I'm going to build this here, and then I'm going to recruit. And in the province, which is at Harmony, so you get the upkeep production, I'm going to do another Yang Lord. And I'm going to start making another army.
Wrath of the Dragon.
I'm going to give her the archers.
Might. You face a dragon of Cathay.
And again, don't auto-resolve because you just take a little bit more damage than you need to.
I stand apart.
Then you can move this guy
Descended
forward.
from celestial glory. Witness their demise.
And it's just one turn to Pomei.
The dragon-blooded.
Build more archers. And then I think that's all I really wanted to talk about at the start. In terms of going forward, once you've taken Pomei, I kind of head over here. I take Wenchang out. I've got this army, so once you've got some units, you can move this over here, sort of besiege it to stop them from making more units. It's up to you. It shouldn't be too much of a hassle getting this. And then once you've taken that, if you're lucky, you might be able to find the beastmen wherever they are. They might be there. And if they appear before you, you can take them out. I definitely would if they're here or wherever they are. Just try and take them out, because they'll probably declare war on a Cathayan faction and just start raising settlements, and it's just a big hassle. But once you've taken out the rebels, your next target is definitely Clan Eshin. They should have taken out the Savage Orcs by then, but what you want to do is take Kunlan. They probably will have an army there, but it won't be that strong. And once you've got Kunlan, you can play a little bit defensive and just try and catch Sneakage out. They're very poor at Skaven are quite poor at taking large settlements. Their strength is really in ambushing you, and I'd say that's the only way you're going to lose against an army head to head. But just be careful. But you do want to go Eshin. Be super aggressive. Make sure you're getting more non-aggression packs and just confederating. That's the key. Confederating early so you can make a bunch of armies and sort of form a nice defensive wall. And then after you take out Clan Eshin, I just start dealing with Lokir. Village should have declared war on you by then and will be coming down from the north, but if you've got an army at the Turtle Gate and the Dragon Gate, it should be fine. And yeah, that's I think that's all I want to talk about. If you want to get into a more detailed version of this, the playthrough I did is pretty much the same. But hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next video.